lot of people are expecting you to be angry, miserable, and bitter from how they treated you when they know and you knew that you did not deserve that. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, then it's not in a line and it's not for you. So don't force it. As well as grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over and discuss why you're not going to be bitter this year, why you're going to continue to show up for yourself, why you're going to continue to pour into yourself, why you're going to continue to love yourself, and most importantly, become that girl, become that guy, become that they, she, we, he, LG, 1, 2, 3, and do what works for you. Continue to live your life, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and a little chit chat. And if you don't know who I am on this account, we motivate, inform, and educate. Anywhere else, I'm your favorite rich auntie, and as your favorite rich auntie, we're not having it. I'm not having it, and I'm going to tell you why. The first thing that you need to be aware of is because when you know who you are, when you know, you're not out here trying to disturb peace with people. What do you look like losing sleep? What do you look like giving up on yourself just because other people knew and know that they are miserable? And I'll give you a second because the video just started, but this is how we're turning up. This is how we're starting. What do you look like? And if you need to pause it, I'll give you a second. Answer the question in the comment section as we go. Usually on your notes, you jot down, but this is in real time. What do you look like losing sleep over people and places and things that you know you did not go out your way to disturb? Because it's like, be for real. It is 2026. And as your favorite mental health specialist, who's really your favorite rich auntie, nobody has time for that. The second disclaimer, the second thing that you need to be aware of is because you know who you were, when you know you love yourself, you're not out here trying to see people fail. You're not out here trying to provoke or project and deflect hate and negativity onto people. You are minding your business. And what happens is a lot of times when people are miserable, when people have these hidden motives, when people have secret animosity, when people are envious, when people don't have love in their spirit, when people were not raised with love, they will consciously, subconsciously, intentionally or not come to you, be attracted to you. And this is why it's so important that when you experience these type of people, you learn the lesson. You have to learn how to have discernment. You have to be mindful of the company that you keep, because everyone does not have the same energy as you. And if you're watching this, you are not like everybody else, because I'm not like everybody else. Nobody is like anybody else, because nobody is the same. You have to realize that when you know who you are, you cannot be around people who don't. And if you are insecure, if people are insecure, they need to come correct. You don't get to come into people's lives and try to have hidden motives or try to control them and manipulate them. You can't even control yourself. And that's the third thing. You have to realize these people did not know who they were, and a lot of them still won't know who they are until they realize that they have their own problems to deal with. This doesn't mean that just because people have insecurities or they've gone through things that they're less of a person, but it's like, you don't get to come into, especially mine, you don't get to come in my life or your life trying to run ish when you don't even have your ish together. These people knew what they did, and I don't condone it. I don't feel sorry for people who are aware that they've been abused, that they've been touched on, that they've gone through trials and tribulations, and think that it's okay to put that out into the world or to people who have done nothing to them. These people are miserable. They have low vibrations. And I have no problem saying it, because as somebody who's always have love and will forever be a loving internal being, yeah, I have time. And this is why I'm making this video. You have to realize You did not deserve, and that's number 4, you didn't deserve to be treated less of a person just because other people are insecure. So what? Everybody has insecurities. Some of us, like myself, realize why we have insecurities. A lot of times we have insecurities because, yes, maybe we were taught and shown certain things. Yes, maybe we were bullied, or maybe we were naive and ignorant. I've had one insecurity my entire life out of the 29 years of my life, and it was because I was ignorant. I didn't know any better. Once I educated myself on my insecurity, I let it go. I never once felt the need to see a woman or to see a man and project onto them. Who raised you? And that's number 5. These people were not raised with love or respect or with morals and integrity. Because when you have integrity, when you have respect, when you have morals, you don't F around and find out. You don't even play like that. That's how people lose their lives. And that's how you know a lot of you all have not been tapped before. Y'all have never been popped before. A lot of people haven't even gone through certain things for real. Because it's like, when you know you had to struggle, when you know you've gone through trials and tribulations, why would you allow that to continue? You have a lot of people in this world who are so scary and punks, who can't even speak up for themselves. And you think you're gonna come into somebody's life and steal their joy and try to make them miserable and try to make them feel less of a person. You try to sit here and spread rumors and gossip and talk about them like you wasn't a fan, like you wasn't trying to get in. Because that's the thing. A lot of people know who you are. A lot of people know your worth. A lot of people think they know you. And that's number 1. They don't know you. You hoes who thought that you was bigger than the problem, you never knew me. You know me now. Because that's what people are going to realize. A hard head makes a soft behind. When people try to do you dirty, what people say, what you do in the dark, it comes to the light. Okay? It's 2026. You're not going to not continue to be who you are because that's what people want, or that's what people think. These people are, like I said, they're not even mentally stable. I'm not going to call you names. I could call you idiots. Because some of you are idiots. Some people are willfully ignorant. And as a grown adult, this is a grown adult conversation. This is for the mature audience. And mature is not a race, a gender, or an age. Now, I know a lot of people's frontal lobe, technically, legally, and spiritually, doesn't develop to 25. So if you are not 29 and older, okay, get you a pen and paper and listen to your auntie. Because I'm not playing. But as an adult, be for real. Because this is how adults really talk. You don't have to be out here spreading misery. When you know you're miserable, you need to work on yourself. You need to look on yourself. If not, you need to ask questions. Since you want to be in people's life, because that's the thing. These people are greedy. These people are not used to having nice things. Every single person who was greedy, not used to having things, I knew that. And you see, people think they know you more than you know yourself. You can read the room when you're not looking for certain things. People thought, oh, I'm going to come into her life. I'm going to come into her life. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. And I'm telling you right now, every single person in my life has learned the hardest way. I'm talking about you will get dragged. You will get dragged. Okay? A lot of people had to F around and find out the hardest way. And I'm talking about in your throat, in the chest. You all are not like that. And I'm not here to sit here and promote violence, but it's like, what's really good? When you know you really live a certain type of life, you don't have time for that. I am not 19. I'm not 9. I'm 29. I'm grown. You feel me? And it's disrespectful. It's degrading. And it's demeaning. Okay? You gotta realize that. What do we look like? Because it's like, be for real. What do we look like losing sleep over people who wanted to have access to us? We weren't pressed to be in their lives. We didn't have secret motives. I know personally, I have never been pressed to be in a lot of people's lives because, once again, I knew how people carried themselves. I never felt the need to look down because, like I said, I was raised with dignity. Okay, all to y'all shade. But I never felt like, oh, okay, I'm better. You don't need to be better than people when you know you're that girl, when you're that guy. Y'all was never that. And instead of learning, you thought you could come into somebody's life and control. How you gonna control me? How you gonna control them? How? Be for real. Like I said, these people are uneducated, which means they're ignorant. And a lot of them don't have the experiences. A lot of people really don't know no better. So it's just like, when you are continuing to smile, I'm now going to get into the recommendations. You just really have to think. You really just have to be for real. You really just have to realize, forgive them for what they know not. That's what it says in the Bible. And I'm gonna go there. Now, I respect everyone's religions and spirituality. I know I'm not here to force anybody or convince anybody, but it's like, practice what you preach and mean what you say. If not, don't speak. If you know you're envious, if you know you're insecure, but you like somebody, you admire somebody, say that. If not, leave them alone. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that people are not going to continue to talk and spread rumors and be low vibrational, but it's like, once you peep the scenery, once you realize that's what type of time that people are on, you need to stay far, far away from them. It is that deep. It is that serious. That's how people lose their lives. That's how people get into physical altercations. I'm telling you from experience. That's how people block their blessings or waste their times. But me personally, because like I said, these people never gave me my joy. These people never loved me or poured into me and supported me the way I was doing them. They could never. And that's another reason why people want you to be bitter and mad, because they know they can't F with you. Never could. And never, not in this life, not in the next life, not anywhere. You're a joke. You got to realize that. You need to start putting some respect on your name. So what do I recommend when you are getting your peace back, when you are continuing to show up and smile? Number one is to realize where you went wrong, was to realize what you did or what you didn't do. Because I could tell you when I was younger, like, I'm not old, but I could tell you, like, as a 29-year-old, just from meeting all kinds of people, because the lifestyle that I live, I'm thankful for and very privileged. A lot of people confuse, like I said, love with weakness. A lot of people confuse vulnerability with you being stupid. I've lived a very privileged and loving life, and I'm grateful for it. And I've been around people who were not loving, who were not vulnerable, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna come into her life and just talk to her any old type of way. And a lot of times, you guys, I knew when to pick and choose my battles. I'm gonna be honest. I knew when to speak up, because I knew, you see how I'm excited and getting, I really would get in the field. I don't promote violence. I'm not here to fight and be all rah-rah, but it's just like, I'm not soft. Just because I'm quiet doesn't mean I won't get in the field. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. That's all I'm gonna say. But it's just like, a lot of people confuse me being soft as, oh, people pleaser, pushover. No, the reason why I'm not confronting a lot of people, the reason why I allowed certain people to just be themselves was because, number one, I didn't want to be associated with them. Unfortunately, I had to be around people because I had to be around them based off of my circumstances, like school, education, even people trying to pursue me. It's because where I was at that time. I never thought anything of these people, because when you, like I said, are loving and kind, you're not out here trying to manipulate people. But you will have a lot of people who are not used to certain things, thinking they're ignorant, and a lot of them be arrogant. And that's my real issue. That's my issue that I have with certain people. How are you ignorant and arrogant? Pick a struggle. People really sit here and confuse vulnerability and kindness, and they take advantage of it. But you know why they do that? They do that because they're not used to that. And instead of them, like I said, realizing, because these are the same people who walk around with these big ass heads, excuse my French, thinking that they're bigger and smarter than everybody else. Like, people will sit here and try to size you up and think they're better than you. People are judging off of first impression. You know how shallow and ignorant you really have to be to judge somebody? You don't know somebody. You don't know how much money somebody has based off of how they look. You don't know who people are. And they'll sit here and judge you and turn their nose up and think that, oh, wow, who are you? And then that's when you start to realize, you start to clock their tea, and you start to peep their BS, and you realize it's like, be for real. A lot of these people are not used to having things, but it's just like, just because you're nice and kind, don't stop being nice and kind, you guys. So number one, you need to evaluate, like I said, the situations from your past, because it's like, it's no reason to hold on to it. Because when people try to put fear or projections and deflections, especially when it's negative, they try to, like I said, they think they're controlling, they think they're manipulating, they think that they can. Y'all are dumb. I'm not gonna lie. The people that try to manipulate, y'all are slow. Y'all are slow. And I have no problem talking my age, because like I said, I'm a grown woman. What you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? You gonna face yourself? What are you gonna do? Because it needs to be said. And I'm a rich auntie first. You all don't know me, okay? If you do, you knew. And if you don't, you're new, okay? What are you doing? You just need to really pay attention. Number two, because this video, it went from one way, but it's like, let me just put it on the floor, like I said, because I get in the field. I have no problem speaking up for myself and speaking up for you guys. Number two, you have to realize, you need to ask yourself, why should you stop being a good person just because of other people? Now, of course, this doesn't mean that your feelings are not valid. This doesn't mean that, like I said, you deserve to be treated the way you are. Because, like, even with myself, even when I had to be around people that were, like, very low vibrational, I didn't deserve them talking badly about me or trying to get me fired or getting me fired or making up rumors or trying to take, whether it was emotionally, physically, people trying to hook up with you, like sleep with you, people, like whatever it was. Like, nobody deserves to be abused. I didn't deserve the way people pick sides and talked about, like, people talk sideways. People pick sides. People were willing to gang up. All of you all are weak. If a group of people have to gang up and spread rumors and get you fired or talk badly about you, or you're a fan. And that's what you have to realize. Like, when people spend so much time and energy trying to hate on you, they're obsessed. Like, they're miserable. They're not happy. Like, people are not happy. You have to realize that. Like, what do you look like? Stop being happy when they never gave you anything. You have to realize that. And that's number three. You need to ask yourself, well, what positive, what good did you gain from it? If it was nothing positive, if it was more negative, why are you still holding on to that? Why should you be bitter? What do we look like being bitter? If it was more negative than it was positive, if it was draining, it wasn't productive, it wasn't educational, it wasn't motivational, and it wasn't out of love, most importantly, what do you look like? Stop being who you are. Now, like I said, you spent the time, you spent the energy, your effort. You can't go back in your past. All you can do is evaluate and realize where you went wrong. Realize where you need to be accountable, or realize when you need to pick and choose your battles. I picked and choose a lot of my battles. Sometimes you have to ignore people. That's what I did. I allowed people to look crazy. I allowed them to say what they needed to say. I allowed them because it was just like, wow. When you don't speak and you allow people to show you who they are, believe them. When I didn't speak and I watched certain people say certain, or I watched people do certain things, because a lot of people don't think they're being watched. A lot of people don't think that people aren't paying attention to them. The same way they think, oh, the same way people are watching you. And people be thinking they're slick. Y'all are not, like I say, these people don't even be like that. All to y'all shade. They're not honest. They're not transparent. They're not authentic. And that's why they feel the need to take. And I'm not talking about people who, you know, maybe grew up and had a rough environment and maybe wasn't financially, emotionally, you know, stable. I'm not talking about people who are genuinely lost. I'm talking about the people who knew that they grew up a certain type of way and still decided to treat people a certain type of way. Because it's like, nobody deserves that. And it's like, if they knew that how they were abused and how they were touched on and how they were beaten up and how they grew up poor and how they grew up the way that they did, why would you want to continue to treat other people like that? Why would you want to do that? So the whole purpose of this video is for you to feel mainly motivated. Let me know if you guys want a part 2, okay? But it's like, we're not losing sleep. I'm not losing sleep. I'm not holding a grudge. I don't care. I want you guys to know that. I don't care at all, and I never will. Like, as you all can see, I will mop the ocean with a broom before I ever allow anybody to think they can disturb my peace, because they didn't give it to you. Nobody who was gossiping, spreading rumors, like, oh my God, none of you all did anything for me other than make me realize how beautiful, how smart, and how intelligent I am. And that's the same thing with you. You need to realize that when people, like, all people do is just let you know who you are. And like I said, once you realize that some people are nasty, because there are going to be some evil, nasty people in this world. I'm not here to control everybody. I'm not here to manipulate everybody. I'm just letting you know what it is. There are some people in this world who are going to be nasty, and that's how they want to be. You got to leave them alone. If people really loved you, like I said, if they're insecure and they have insecurities and they're envious, okay, they could say that. Like, if people can't tell you why they feel the way they do towards you, you don't need to respect them, because that's really what it is too. Like, I've never respected, and I really don't respect them now. Like, they mean nothing. And this is why you should not lose sleep. You should not stop being yourself. Yes, you may feel sad. You did not deserve to be treated how you treated. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to apologize, but I'm letting you know right now. Those people said what they said and they did what they did. And I don't know about you, but it's just like, I will never, and people say never say never. No, you say never when you know. I will never be able to look at anybody the same way. I don't do second chances, you guys. You have one time, because that's the same thing with me. I know I have one time in people's life to come correct. I'm not expecting people to forgive me if I've sat here and done some crazy stuff, which it's not a lot of people in this world could say that I did. And the people that did, you know why. Because that's the thing. People know what they do. And like I said, even with myself, the times that I did is 3 times, specifically 3 things that I've done, 3 sins that I've done, which I've had to confess to and repent and ask for forgiveness for. And the 3 things that I did, I was able to realize. And I don't play the victim. And like I said, if people chose not to forgive me or not want me to be in their life, I can't feel some type of way. But it was never out of spite. It was never out of envy. It was never out of hate. It was never out of trying to one up them or none of that. It was because of me being naive in certain situations about myself and realizing that there were certain things that I needed to work on and being okay with that. Because it takes 2 people to be in a relationship. So it's just like, when you know you're not perfect, which I don't come on the internet and try to act like I'm perfect. I never said I was perfect, but I know I've never been out here. I've never been a grimy person. Like I said, there are certain things, that I've had to realize with myself with certain people. Because same thing with me. I was not someone who was exposed to certain things in my life. Now, of course, if you guys want to know what it is, you want to be nosy, I'll talk about story time later. But right now, it's about you. It's not about me. I don't make these videos for me because I've lived through it and I've experienced it. But we're not allowing people. This is more going to be a motivational video. So I'm going to just put motivation. This is going to be more of a motivational video. Like, we're not allowing people to allow us to be bitter. Like, I'm letting you know right now. And the reason why I'm letting you know right now is because people know what they did. I know people who have known what they did to me. And the reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of times, like I said, when you know you're innocent, when you know you're genuine, not perfect, you don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. Like, even with you not being perfect, even with me having to learn certain things because I wasn't exposed to it at a certain point in my life, like I said, it was never out of spite. It was never. And that's what matters. It's your intention. When you have negative intentions towards somebody, it doesn't matter. Like I said, if you're ignorant, you're naive, and you, like I said, are lost, it's different. And it's not me being a victim. It's not me not being accountable. No. God knows what I did. You know what you did. Your ancestors, the universe. Once again, we're not here to force religion or spirituality, but it's just like, time will tell. You don't have to worry about seeking revenge. I'm letting you know right now. Just do not give up on yourself. Continue to smile and don't allow these dusty, crusty, muggly, ugly, fugly people to get to you, because that's what they want. People want you to be so bitter. People want you to be so angry because of their pain, because of their projections, because of their limited beliefs, because of what they've gone through. We're not allowing that to happen. And even with me, the situations I realized was with the opposite gender, because I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of the tea because I know y'all know tea, but it was with the opposite gender. And what I had to realize is that for my future husband, that certain things in my relationship I needed to work on in order for the relationship to be good. And my future husband, this is why I'm not telling y'all everything, because y'all not my future husband. Y'all don't need to know everything. We'll be able to understand that. We'll be able to discern that. And you have to realize that when people who are meant to love you, when people really love you, even if you have things that you need to work on, flaws or insecurities, they're not going to judge you. They're not going to try to use them against you. They're not going to sit here and hold it over your head. Only people, like I said, who have no respect for themselves get excited about you having flaws or trying to use information against you or try to make you feel bad. And you have to realize, a lot of times when people try to like sabotage people and control people or manipulate people, these people are never stable within themselves. So it's just like, yeah, I'm not allowing anybody. I've never allowed anybody to disturb my peace. And this is why people are, well, everybody reaps what they sow, including me. I know how this works. When you put out energy, it has to go somewhere. When you pay practitioners and do a whole bunch of stuff, it's time to pay up. The day is now. Debts are due. Bills are paid. The world's changing. Okay? That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna keep it cute. I'm gonna keep it cute because this video went for a turn, but it's like, That's what needed to be said. So if you're new here and you think, oh my gosh, send it and share it to somebody who's mature, because this video is not for the weak. And that's what you're not going to be. You're not about to be weak. We're not weak. And as a real rich auntie, we're honest, we're transparent, and we're vulnerable. Us being nice and kind, like I said, some of these people are idiots. If you confuse somebody being vulnerable with them being weak, you have not been loved. And honestly, like I said, I'm not saying they're idiots to be mean or to be shady. It's just some people are a little bit slow. And it needs to be said, and that's okay, because all of us can learn. But it's just like, it's just like I said, people who are willfully ignorant. When you're willfully ignorant, you are an idiot because you're choosing to be dumb. You're choosing to be uneducated, not people, like I said, who are naive and really don't know no better because they haven't experienced certain things. They haven't been exposed to certain things. There is a difference. But it's just like, yeah. You don't need to not continue to smile just because people are miserable or because people try to hurt you or because people try to F them respectfully. Because I'm letting you know right now, once you learn to let it go, once you realize that you don't have to receive it, once you realize you weren't the one, like especially when you know you're not in the wrong. Like I said, I can count on my hands. I can say people's names. It's not a lot of people I've wronged. Like it's less than maybe 5 people. 5 people, less than 5 people, like my right hand, I could say where I was in the wrong. It's only 3 things, because I talked about this recently with somebody. It's 3 things that I've done in this world out of my whole 29 years of my life that I had to learn from and work on. 3 specific things. There are a lot of people who do a lot of things and they don't change. I'm not perfect, but I've changed. I've grown. I don't continue to do those 3 things that I did. And like I said, when it's time for me to talk about it specifically, I'm gonna talk about it, because that's what we do over here. We release whatever no longer serves us, because when you don't, you become like the people who try to hurt and harm you, and you end up blocking your blessings. And me personally, I was never gonna be like the people who tried to come into my, never. We are not the same. And you have to realize that, like, you have to be paying attention to people who want to come around you, who want to sleep with you, who want to, whatever it is. You need to ask yourself, why does this person want to be around? Like, what is their intentions? Especially when they carry themselves a certain type of way. But it's like, when you learn, I'm telling you guys, as you get older, young ladies and young men, and even grown adults, when you live life, you start to become wise. And like I said, my content is for the adults. Like, millennials watch my content. I'm a Gen Z. I'm a 97. Like I said, I'm 29. I'm peak the Gen Zer, okay? To all you 2000 kids, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for 97, okay? My target audience is the millennials. You are 35 and 44 years old and 30 years old. Now, like I said, if you happen to be a young Gen Z, I'm not shading you. But this is for this is for grown people, okay? So send it to your mama or your auntie or somebody, and yeah, let me know what you think. This is like a really long video. You guys, it is it's 6:35 in the morning. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It needed to be said. And it's like, once you let it go, I'm telling you, you're going to feel so great. You're going to continue to live your best life. You're going to do what you need to do. And you're not going to lose sleep. You're not going to be stressed out. Now, it is going to take a while. I am going to make a part 2 of this, because there are certain things that I wanted to say. But obviously, I needed to say this. And I'm in off the video. Make sure you guys are following me all the way to the end. Make sure you guys are liking and sharing and commenting so we can go live, because I know a lot of you all have been requesting to go live from my Instagram and on TikTok. Follow the information. Once again, it's in the description. My website is currently shut down. I will have it open again if you want a one-on-one session. Book your servicing your sessions. Once again, on this account, I am a naturopathic physician, your favorite mental health specialist, here to motivate, inform, and educate, and that's what we do. And this video is a little bit of a yap. It's a little bit of yap, because it's just like, I'm trying to make it entertaining, okay? Like, I don't want it to be just motivation, and it's just like, no, you need to understand, like, if people are not operating out of love, which you can feel, don't worry about them. Don't stop being like, that's all it is. I genuinely care for every single one of you guys watching this, like, because I care about myself. And you have to realize that how people treat themselves is how they're going to treat you. Stop trying to see people for who they're not. Accept people for what they're showing you, and decide if you want to be around them or not. Don't allow people to play games with you. Don't allow people to talk about you and then, oh, no. Now, like I said, if you want to give them a second chance, you can. But me personally, it's a no. It's a hard no. You're done. You're done. You're done. And it's no beef. It's no shade. Because it's no hate. And just because I'm talking about something doesn't mean that, you talking about something you care. I can't stand people like that. Y'all are so slow. Like I said, I have beef with, or not even beef. I just really do not like people who choose to be willfully ignorant. I'm talking about to the negative Nancy's, because negative people do exist. Like I said, there are going to be evil and wicked people in this world. I just don't like when people think that just because you're talking about something that you are, obviously you still care. No, you experienced it. And you have to realize when people want you to be miserable, they don't want you to speak up. They want you to be silent. And that's what we're not doing here. Like I said, you don't get to control me. You don't get to cause problems in my life. And you have to remember that people don't get to cause problems in your life and provoke you and then tell you how you react or respond. Say up, speak up, and say what you need to say. Because it's like everybody loves to be a big dog until the big dog starts barking. Everybody loves to throw rocks and then hide their hands. And for me, I've dealt with a lot of people like that. I've dealt with a lot of people who talk all this big and bad, but it's like the moment you say something else, you're being aggressive, you're being intelligent, or you care, you obviously care, you shouldn't care. You don't get to tell me what I get to care and care about. When you sit here and you try to disturb people's peace, when you know nobody was doing nothing to you, when you're minding your business, like I said, when you are and ladies specifically, because I'm a lady, don't allow, like, people really want you to be angry and bitter. Just because I'm talking and because I'm passionate and I'm excited doesn't mean I'm angry and bitter. I have emotions, and people don't get to control your emotions. People don't get to tell you how you get to deal with your emotions. And as women, you need to start, like I said, put your foot down. And even with men, if you're really a man, if you're really a woman, let's be for real, because I said this for the grown adults. You don't get to tell somebody how they get to react or respond when you know you're out here being problematic and when you know you're not willing to be accountable. You don't get to do that. Like I said, these people think they have control. They've never had control. Like I said, they don't even have control over themselves. And like once you realize people are trying to like one up, just remove yourself because it's so draining. You don't deserve people talking down to you. You don't deserve people trying to talk to you. You don't deserve people who think they're smarter than you and try to make you feel less of a person. You don't deserve people who are overly obsessed, who stalk you, who are infatuated with you, then get around you and try to shit on you. Once again, excuse my French. Are you slow? You've lost your mind. You've lost your mind. And then think someone wants to be in a relationship with you, or think someone wants to be your friend, or you think somebody wants to do business with you. You think somebody wants to work with you. You think somebody wants to be related and associated with you. Like, this is how you act. The nerve that some people have. The audacity. So don't stop having integrity just because others don't. And lead by example, because that's what we do over here. We're not here to shame anybody or make anybody feel bad. We're going to just tell the truth. So if you're a hit dog and you've been hollered, bark. If the shoe fits, lace them up. Stand on them. If you know you're out here being problematic and chaotic and this video is about you, go ask for forgiveness. Change your ways. Don't continue to do that. Because what happens is, seriously, which a lot of people have to learn the hard way, they will get dealt with. So it's like, you don't need to seek revenge. You don't need to worry about karma, or karma's gonna happen regardless, right? But it's like, we're not losing sleep. And I'm gonna seriously end off the video now because it's just like, this needed to be said. I'm gonna make a part 2. Stay tuned for the part 2. And if you're new here, watch all the other videos. But I'm not losing sleep. So I really do hope that you all, and pray this video was extremely motivating. Let me know your experience. Let me know, what's the vibes? Are we losing sleep? Or are we gonna sit here and, F them? Because guess what? Anything materialistically can be replaced. You know what can't be replaced? Your time and your energy. Don't allow anybody to try to disturb your spirit just because they're miserable. Don't allow them to win. And it doesn't matter if you have to start over. It doesn't matter if you have to be rerouted. It doesn't matter even if you lose, quote unquote, everything. If you are connected like you say you are, you know, like, materials is earthly and worldly. And when you die, none of that stuff is going to go with you. So live your life now. You are loved. I love you. Until next time. Follow me on all social media platforms so we can go live and really get into it, okay?